Good evening, good morning, and goodbye. On today's episode of With AI, You Can Do Anything, we're talking about the Messaging AI application. So, since a few days ago, there's been a lot of progress. We had the basic features set up. Here's the list. Basic features were all live on Tuesday. And since then, we've been focusing push notifications, but mostly the AI agent, which is the most exciting aspect. So, as you can see, tests are working just fine. We have a page to access all of these to-do items and notifications. For everyone knows what notification is, so I'm really going to focus on the AI component, AI agent test. Basically what this does is test the webhook, which goes to N8N. This is my first time using N8N, and it's been an amazing time. One main challenge I had was that this node was not actually connected. We were just on top of the line. I spent like 2 hours trying to take courses to figure out why I was getting a warning that there was no respond to webhook at the end of the flow. But we got it all working. We're still alive, and we're stronger because of it. So here, as you can see, executions. I recently ran a test a couple of minutes ago before the baby started crying. Here's what it looked like. We sent in a chat, like, let's meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. for coffee. So what happens when you get a chat like that? We run it through our message model, which is a 4.0 mini, with some pretty thorough prompt engineering. This prompt is possibly excessively long, and in the future I would like to save tokens by honing it down, by slimming it down. But basically it extracts action items. It extracts calendar events, decisions, high priority things. It tests the confidence of these events. If you look at a sample output, it gives us what kind of category it is. Calendar deadline, is it actionable? This is key. And what the level of confidence is. It also gives some more information, people mention, etc. And this way these things can end up in a calendar invite, which you would put on another webhook that goes out to like a Google Calendar invite or whatever it might be. So in actuality, and then it responds to the webhook. So this is the basic architecture of this type of product, but in considering what an action item actually is, how do we define what an action item is? Because an unresponded to message is technically an action item, but it shouldn't be enough to qualify what we're trying to do as an action item. So I've taken this, Cloud has inspired me to with this approach, this definition of action items, that has been a really exciting, like, first of all, a great way to think about it, about how we can start by defining an action item, what are the necessary components, and what we can do with that action item. So who, what, when, completable are all necessary components of action items. Where is a nice option, whether it's going to be a virtual meeting or a coffee meeting at a place. But at the end of the day, there has to be another person involved. There has to be concrete action, and there has to be a time constraint, and there has to be a completable component, something that you could say we're finished with this. Actionable outcomes, this is where the N8N comes in. Calendar invites, response templates. Response templates can actually be pretty exciting, because how often do we send a text message we forget to follow up on, we forget to answer, and the day comes where now it's like 2 hours before you're supposed to meet, and someone's like, oh, can you still meet? And you're all booked up. So this type of template of how can we make sure that things follow through, I think, is a really exciting thing, especially for our persona, which is busy moms. So we've generated a 2.0 N8N here, which we're working through. This one connects. It's very exciting to me that the JavaScript can go directly in the N8N. The question is, does this end up moving applications to N8N from our server, from our cursor environment? Because we can kind of take components and meet them together. Very nicely organizes the communication of data. So here we can even write to Firestore, check priority, and then prepare a notification or prepare a response. This notification is also interesting. I think it could connect to hopefully it could connect directly to and call those functions entirely. And if you're going to do that, we probably would want to add some auth features up front. But anyway, here's what we've got in the pipeline. By Sunday, these things will hopefully be working much cleaner. Here's some examples of the action items glitching, the action items appearing in the action item center. And I hope you enjoyed.